Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee on Couchbase. My name is William, and I'm super excited to have Brian Zubert here today with us. Brian and his team actually built an application called ScoreMore, and it's using Couchbase Mobile. So, Brian, I'd love to have you introduce yourself to the crowd here and talk a bit about the application you built.
Sure. My name is Brian Zubert. I'm an executive in residence here at Communitech, which is a research and innovation center which helps startups grow their businesses. So today I'm really excited to finally be launching a startup of my own in ScoreMore Baseball. ScoreMore Baseball is a mobile application for Android, BlackBerry, and iOS that simplifies the scoring of baseball games and brings the power of Moneyball to amateur, rec, and youth baseball teams using the exact same performance-based approach that the guys in the majors are now using to really help them drive in more runs. ScoreMore Baseball makes the scorekeeping of baseball games so fast and easy that any coach, any teammate, or any parent can quickly and accurately score the game on their phone, their tablet, and basically then once they put the data in, we can apply the same concepts as Moneyball to help optimize the team's batting order, which gives longer rallies, scrams fewer runners, and ultimately scores more runs. Everything is stored in the cloud, and it's all powered by Couchbase.
That's really cool to hear that such a sophisticated stat tracking application, especially baseball, right? It's like hugely stats driven, is coming out from Canada. And for those who are watching, pretty much Moneyball talks about how you can use all the stats that gets generated from baseball scores and actually optimize your game mechanics. So like who's batting first, who should be batting second. So through ScoreMore, I believe, right? You're basically optimizing that for all your teams. So I'm curious, I'd love to see and hear about ScoreMore more. Do you have maybe a demo you can show us and walk us through some of the features that you built?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll share the screen here. Okay. So ScoreMore Baseball was all built in web technologies, and we actually packaged it all up as PhoneGap for BlackBerry, iPhone, and Android. We come prepackaged with a demo mode, which has a whole bunch of data already populated in the application. So we'll go ahead and start one of those teams now. One of the biggest challenges with scoring a baseball game is that everyone's using pen and paper predominantly, and then from there, depending on who's actually doing the scorekeeping, you might get completely different data sets. So the first thing we had to do was clean up the data. So in the actual, when you get to the ball diamond, you go ahead and say we're going to set the roster, which players are in, which players are out for the given game. Mark those off, and once you're happy with with who's in attendance, go ahead and hit the batting order. And I said this is where the power of Moneyball, power of sabermetrics is brought to your team. So we have all the right players batting in all the right spots. Again, ultimately just trying to extend those rallies, brand fewer runners, and just keep bringing in as many runs as you possibly can. So we're done. We're happy with their batting order. We'll go ahead and play ball. Now, again, talking about simplifying the scoring, we have to make sure that no matter what your familiarity is with the game of baseball, you can't get it wrong. So for a given batter, in this case, Charlie, the only thing you have to answer is one simple question. Did they get on base or out? So for Charlie, let's mark him as on base. He hit a single. It was a line drive, and it's over to the left side of the screen. Okay, he's on first base. We're happy with that. We'll repeat the exact same thing for Michael. In this case, we'll mark him as hitting a double, which was a fly ball up into right center field. And note of hit locations, because that's going to be very useful a little bit later on when we actually start getting things like spray charts. We'll mark that off. Runners are automatically advanced. Off we go. So with Couchbase, we are storing every single hit for every single player for every single game. So across 100 hits for an individual player, anywhere from 10 to 20 players on a given team, hundreds, thousands of teams. That's a lot of hits. That's a lot of data points. Couchbase handles it all seamlessly. So we'll go into the actual stats here. And on the team level, we can see, okay, in aggregate, this is the team's batting average. These are the top performers on the team. Same thing for on base percentage, slugging, OPS, singles, doubles, triples. About every stat you can imagine tracking, ScoreMore Baseball has it. Now, where it gets really fun is on the individual player level. So let's go over to Bobby here. Now, for Bobby, we can see how he's doing in a given stat category, how he's comparing versus the team's average in that category, and how he ranks. So you can see here for batting average, he's batting 500 versus the team who's batting 511, and Bobby's 5th overall in the team in terms of batting average. Now, I showed you the actual capturing of each hit location. That's where ScoreMore Baseball takes all of those individual hits and plops it into aggregate so you can actually see the spray chart for Bobby. Yellow dots are the ground balls, white dots are the line drives, red dots are the fly balls. So you can imagine as you start scoring your opponents, the more frequently you play your opponents, the more information you're going to have about their teams and their spray charts. Then you can start aligning your defense to actually account for their hit locations, their spray chart.
That's really neat. Yeah, there's a lot of data points from baseball. I can definitely see the spray chart. Curious, you mentioned Couchbase. I'm just wondering if you mind sharing some of the details and how you design and coded the experience out for the features of your app and any other technology that you're using.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I'll do another screen share. So let's start with the Couchbase console itself. In the Couchbase console, we just talked about spray charts itself. So for the spray charts, for as complex as it is, the code's actually very simple. I love the fact that I get to author my views in JavaScript. Makes it really, really easy to actually get all the data out and very, very fast to actually apply any kind of business logic I want. So again, I'm going across all the batting events for the home team and the away team. And I'll iterate through each and every one of those batting events. And then basically here is where I actually go ahead and make my search query. So I'll pop in the player ID. In this case, it's the player ID for Bobby and for a given year. So the 2015 season, the 2014 season, basically any year, any player, I can get every single hit that's come out from that player. So if you actually go down to results, you can see I've got the X and Y hit location for that individual hit. In this case, LD specifies line drive, GB is a ground ball, F. So we're going from all those individual data points. I said, and then we can turn that into a nice, pretty interface that shows you every hit this player's ever had for the 2015 season. If you want to get up into the actual individual document level, so here we're actually pulling up a sample document for one of our players. This player is Oliver Franklin. You can see we've actually rolled up all their stats from past years into an array. So for the player batting array, you can see we've got all the stats for the 2014 season, all the stats for the 2015 season. And we're identifying our given documents by the type. So there's a type for a player, there's a type for a game, a type for a team, and then bringing that back to the spray chart. Like I said, we had for that was each and one of those individual hits is on a game document, and again we have similar to how we have the player batting stats rolled up into an array. The individual hits for a single game are rolled up into an array on that game as well. So that's the Couchbase side of things. Then the best part of the views is that it automatically creates all the indexes as well and all the REST APIs. So once we actually create the view, the indices are created automatically. They're fast, they're performant, and all the REST APIs are created on top of them. So I don't have to waste all that time developing the middleware pieces. So once I make my call to my view to get a player, for example, I'll have all the JSON returned to me, and I'll actually just go through each one of those individual entries and map them over to my JavaScript object. So in JavaScript, they don't have the concept of objects, so I'm sort of faking it out with. But we're basically able to map each individual JSON entry from the view over to properties on that player. That's from the view to the player, going in the other direction, from the player back into JSON to get to store it back up in the Couchbase for all our updates. We're basically just, again, just doing a JSON mapping. And the real key here is the JSON stringify function. With JSON stringify, we're able to literally create that mapping of JSON property back to the player property in JavaScript. So this is basically going and removing our player properties, bringing them back to JSON so that Couchbase can process all of it.
That's a very cool way to use Couchbase Mobile and Couchbase on the back there. That's really neat, especially if you look at baseball. There's a lot of data. Just curious, you mentioned performance, like with indexing, and you talked a bit about it. How was that experience and the overall developer experience using Couchbase Mobile for you guys?
Well, Couchbase Mobile is actually setting us up really, really well for what we're about to do next. One of the big reasons we chose Couchbase in the first place was because Couchbase Mobile made the synchronization of offline and online really, really fast and easy. So for us, in real life, baseball fields are often quite remote, quite rural. You might not have great cell coverage. So for a cloud-based solution, how do we actually deal with that? Again, Couchbase makes it super easy. This coming month, we're going to be rolling out Couchbase Mobile with the Sync Gateway to basically run all of our functions locally through PhoneGap with Couchbase Mobile, so that we're having everything running offline for the user. Then when they come into coverage, we'll simply hit up the Sync Gateway with a single function call and get full synchronization between our Couchbase Mobile pieces and our cloud storage pieces. So really, really, really hard to beat the simplicity of Couchbase. And again, I don't have to worry about all these complex things like indices and REST APIs or offline and online synchronization. I get focused on what's fun, which is building software for baseball. So I'm super excited and very, very happy with the choice made with Couchbase.
That's awesome to hear. I think growing up playing hockey, I definitely understand the fact that you don't get great signal coverage in stadiums or in hockey arenas, and you basically now you can not be dependent on an internet connection to get that full app experience. What you're saying is right now, if you're in a stadium, if you don't have great coverage, open the application, all your experience is local. You can do all your writes and reads locally, and then when you are connected again, sync that back up. I think, like you said, because of that, you can just focus on building your business value prop and focusing on building those features out and have the complex logic completely extracted out. So that's great to know, and I'm super excited for ScoreMore. Any way I can try this out, and for viewers out there, like where could they get it?
Yeah, absolutely. So ScoreMore Baseball is now available in BlackBerry World, the Store, Google Play for Android, and the iOS App Store. If you want the quick and easy way of getting to it, just head over to www.baseball.com. Everything's right there for you.
Cool, Brian. I'm excited for ScoreMore and what's to come. So for viewers out there, definitely check out ScoreMore. Baseball season's coming up, so if you need a really cool, sophisticated tracking stats app, definitely try that out in the App Store and across the different platforms. Brian, it's a pleasure as always. So thank you again, and for viewers out there, thank you for joining us for Cock and Couchbase. Catch you guys next time.
Thanks for having me, Will. Bye.
Bye.